QML is a user interface markup language. It is a JavaScript-based, declarative language for designing user interface or Euro-centric applications. It is part of Qt Quick, the UI creation kit developed by Nokia within the Qt framework. QML is mainly used for mobile applications where touch input, fluid animations and user experience are crucial. QML documents describe an object tree of elements. QML elements shipped with Qt are a sophisticated set of building blocks, graphical and behavioral. These elements can be combined to build components ranging in complexity from simple buttons and sliders, to complete Internet-enabled programs. QML elements can be augmented by standard JavaScript both inline and via included JS files. Elements can also be seamlessly integrated and extended by C++ components using the Qt framework. QML is the language. The runtime is called Qt Declarative. Adoption: KDE Plasma Workspaces 2, Unity, Hawaii, Simple Desktop Display Manager. Syntax: semantics, basic syntax. Example: objects are specified by their type, followed by a pair of braces. Object types always begin with a capital letter. In the example above, there are two objects, a rectangle and its child, an image. Between the braces, one can specify information about the object, such as its properties. Properties are specified as property, value. In the example above, we can see the image has a property named source, which has been assigned the value pixlogo PNG. The property and its value are separated by a colon. The id property: each object can be given a special unique property called an id. Assigning an id enables the object to be referred to by other objects and scripts. The first rectangle element below has an id, myrect. The second rectangle element defines its own width by referring to myRectWidth, which means it will have the same width value as the first rectangle element. Note that an id must begin with a lowercase letter or an underscore, and cannot contain characters other than letters, numbers and underscores. Property bindings: a property binding specifies the value of a property in a declarative way. The property value is automatically updated if the other properties or data values change, following the reactive programming paradigm. Property bindings are created implicitly in QML whenever a property is assigned a JavaScript expression. The following QML uses two property bindings to connect the size of the rectangle to that of other item. QML extends a standards-compliant JavaScript engine, so any valid JavaScript expression can be used as a property binding. Bindings can access object properties, make function calls, and even use built-in JavaScript objects like date and math. Example: states. States are a mechanism to combine changes to properties in a semantic unit. A button, for example, has a pressed and a non-pressed state. An address book application could have a read-only and an edit state for contacts. Every element has an implicit base state. Every other state is described by listing the properties and values of those elements which differ from the base state. Example: in the default state, myRect is positioned at 0, 0. In the moved state, it is positioned at 50, 50. Clicking within the mouse area changes the state from the default state to the moved state, thus moving the rectangle. State changes can be animated using transitions. For example, adding this code to the above item element animates the transition to the moved state. Animation: animations in QML are done by animating properties of objects. Properties of type real, int, color, rect, point, size, and vector 3D can all be animated. QML supports three main forms of animation: basic property animation, transitions, and property behaviors. The simplest form of animation is a property animation, which can animate all of the property types listed above. A property animation can be specified as a value source using the animation on property syntax. This is especially useful for repeating animations. The following example creates a bouncing effect. Quart per caret ++ integration: QML does not quart per caret ++ knowledge to use, but it can be easily extended via Qt. Familiar concepts: QML provides direct access to the following concepts from Qt, action the action type, co-object signals and slots available as functions to call in JavaScript, co-object properties available as variables in JavaScript, widget declarative view is a QML displaying widget, QModel used directly in data binding, Qt signal handlers allow actions to be taken in response to an event. For instance, the mouse area element has signal handlers to handle mouse press, release and click. All signal handlers begin with on. Development tools. Because QML and JavaScript are very similar, almost all code editors supporting JavaScript will work, however full support for syntax highlighting, code completion, integrated help and also a technical preview of a WYSIWYG editor is available in the free cross-platform IDE Qt Creator since 2.1 version. References. External links, QML reference documentation, Introduction to the QML language, QML examples and demos, Qt blog, QML tutorial, Qt quick application developer guide for desktop, exporting QML from Photoshop and GIMP, application complete invoicing system in QML, Kitema, QML creator, QML book, how-tos, calling Qt class methods from QML, creating a custom QML element with Qt, connecting Qt signal to QML function.